Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy, and we have a wonderful show lined up for you tonight. History was made this weekend at the SCA World Championship over in Fort Worth, Texas. We're going to talk all about it here in a minute. I'm sure most of y'all have probably read our post of what went down, and we are honored to have not one but two world champions that came out of one competition. I don't think that has ever been done before. And there was no way to break the tie. We're going to hear all about it tonight as we've got Chris Lytle and Stacey Croft on. Two outstanding cookers that just absolutely showed up and showed out this weekend in Fort Worth. And we're going to hear all about it. It was really fascinating the way this all went down and the way the SCA handled it, the way that they typically break a tie. They chose not to do it at the World Championship. So it's really, really cool. We'll hear their story. In the meantime, we're going to give everybody just a few moments to come in. Let us know that you're here. Gordon, as always, we can count on you being here. Thank you for joining us. Darren, thank you for being with us tonight. Charles, we appreciate you being here. Mr. John, what have we got here? Good evening, Mike. Soon to be snow again. Well, you can keep the snow. We're enjoying some nice weather here. It was a little brisk this morning. It was down to 35 degrees. But man, it warmed up to about 65. We got some gorgeous weather lined up for the next week. And I'm excited that all the bad stuff hopefully is behind us. So I hate that you're getting snow up there this time of the year. Brenda, thank you for joining us tonight as well. And Chris, we appreciate you being here all the way from Connecticut. As y'all roll in, once again, let us know. And man, talking about the man, we were just talking about you, Eric. And I've got a question for you before we get too far in it. Chris and I were talking, is it 4-peat or was it the fifth one at the American Royal on hog? I think you've won 4 straight, but he thought it was 5. So it's time for you to clear it up. How many times have you won the whole hog competition at the American Royal? You would think, me filming it, I would remember it. 5. He said, you're right, Chris. It was 5 times in a row. That's just absolutely outstanding. And I know we had talked when we was there, Eric, about getting you on our show. And 2 or 3 different times I've tried to reach out. And, you know, I've got people calling me all the time. Hey, can we get on the show? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm just like, I've got to get a hold of Eric at some point in time. So I know that you've come out with a new rub. Congratulations on that, Eric. We are looking at perhaps doing a manufacturer podcast where we have somebody that's got rubs and stuff like that. I think that may be one of the times that we need to get you on, and I'm looking to do that here in the near future. So keep your phone handy. I remember getting your cell number when I was there at the Royal, so I definitely need to get you on the show, and congratulations. I know you've got to be stoked for Chris. Who else we got on here? Burley, if I get that right. What's going on, guys? Hey, Mike, nice to meet you this weekend in Bow Bridge. Yes, we was down in Bow Bridge, Louisiana. That's where they filmed the Barbecue USA. Last year with Michael Simon. We wanted to go back to see if we could one-up our reserve, and I think there was 41 teams this year. I had another really good outing. I had a third-place chicken. My chicken last year got 14th. My chicken's been on a roll here lately. I got a third-place chicken. My rib, I had a second-place rib 2 years in a row. It let me down. It fell down to 7th, and I had an 8th-place rib. I've had a second and a third brisket in the last 3 years, and it was 8th. It gave me, I think, 14 points, and that finished 3rd. Reserve and Grand were tied at 15 points. It was that close, and congratulations to my good buddy Jerry Valley. He ended up winning it. Also, BCA set some new rules. After Purvis beat me last year, he had 2 walks. I had 3 walks, and the tiebreaker, we both had the same score. The tiebreaker went to brisket. Well, everybody thought, hey, we need to change the rules that whoever has the most walks, that's the first tiebreaker. And then if they're both have 3 walks, then it's going to be who had the highest brisket call. Well, we just voted that in last week. It was just implemented, and I'll be dadgum if the same thing didn't happen again this year. They both had 15 points. Jerry Valley had 3 walks. Saul Dupriest had 2 walks. They both had 15 points. The 3 walks beat the 2 walks, so Jerry Valley got the grand champion. So certainly congratulations to him. It was a lot of fun down there, and it was certainly nice meeting you as well. A lot of folks came up to me, and it's always so great to be able to see everybody and talk to them, especially all of those that have taken our classes. And we had a lot of people down there that have taken our classes. So we was super happy with our results. Finished third overall. Yeah, I wanted to win it. Needed another couple points. Lost a couple tiebreakers with, I was tied with ribs and I was tied with brisket. I lost the tiebreaker. One of the cool things with BCA, they don't just randomly pull numbers or something. They take two people that are tied and they put them in front of three judges and say, judge it again. Tell me out of the three, which one do you like best? And there's always going to break the tie because it's three people. And I lost both tiebreakers, and I can't complain with that. That's just the way it goes. And, man, if I could have got both of them, I would have won it. But there's a lot of ifs in barbecue. I'm just happy to have 3 walks, go down there, have a good time, and see all my buddies. That's the way it works. So better luck next time is what I keep telling myself. Stephen, thank you for joining us tonight. Kevin, we appreciate you being with us. Eric, yeah, let's do it. Brother, I promise you we are going to do it. Carlos, thank you for joining us, brother, and glad to have you with us last weekend. Philip, thank you for joining us as well. Who else we got? Danielle. Okay, that's my cousin. All right, got you on here. Alan Smith. Alan, congratulations, man. I know you guys are stoked. Glad to have you with us. AJ, we appreciate you being with us tonight. We got Mr. Lane with us. Josh Eubanks, Bobby Stewart for President 2024. I don't know what Bobby was doing. I woke up this morning about 4:30 and I already got a message at 2 o'clock this morning. Bobby was up and sent me something. Bobby hadn't had a chance to watch the video yet, but I'm going to have to. So Bobby Stewart's great. Glad to see him out doing a little bit of cooking as well. So look, we got a big show lined up for tonight. We're just giving everybody a couple more minutes to get here. We're up to 42,000 folks. So we're going to give everybody just another minute or so. And if y'all have any questions about the cook-off that happened this weekend, please feel free to ask some questions. We'll get them answered the best we can. And it was a historic event. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Ashley, thank you for joining us tonight, brother. And I think you had a pretty good outing when you was there. I think, man, it was just so hard to try to see so many people that I know and how they did. I hope you did well. There was a lot of folks that I seen that was doing really good and advanced to the finals. We're going to find out how many teams they took to the finals for day 2. So, John, thank you all the way from Alaska. Man, we got quite a few folks on here waiting on Stacey Croft with pots. All right. And let's see, Larry Vaughn, afternoon from South Jersey. All right, well, we got quite a few folks on here. We're going to give everybody just a few more minutes, and then we're going to get started. Do want to make a quick announcement. Look, we couldn't do what we do without our partners. And I know a lot of times I have people that, especially that buy our classes, wondering where to get the product from. The barbecue store, they carry probably 95% of every single rub that's used in our classes. They usually ship the same day if you call before 3 o'clock. So check them out. Gunnar Wilhelm knives, I've said it 1,000 times, one of the best knives that I've ever used and incredibly affordable. Check them out. Also, Daigle's barbecue rubs. They are used on all of my product that I cook with. They got some amazing sauces and glazes. Be sure to check them out. And Raider Red Meats. A lot of times people are wondering where we get our ribs and stuff like that. Check out Raider Red Meats. Kirsten's got some amazing stuff going on with her shipping and being able to get you, sourcing you good prairie fresh ribs and pork butts and stuff. So be sure to check them out. And they've got pretty good freight on shipping stuff as well. And you're supporting the ag department at Texas Tech University. That's why they're called the Red Raiders, Red Raider Meats. So it helps that college fund scholarships as well. And that's why we're a big proponent of helping these guys out. So check them out if you ever need any kind of product. Got a couple more folks on here. Jason, thank you for joining us tonight. And we got Mr. F-Bomb himself. This is Mr. Travis. What's up, everybody? Congratulations on everyone this weekend. Hopefully you dried out. Yep, y'all had a really, really wet weekend of cooking. Want to hear about that as well. I think Travis set the over-under on the destruction of the landscaping at 35,000. Most people thought it was going to be over that. So anyway, we're going to end up finding out a little bit more about everything that happened this weekend. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and bring in our first guest. I think it would be fitting for us to bring in ladies first. So I'm going to bring in Miss Stacey first. And let me get over here and pop up the banner, Miss Stacey. Well, let me rephrase that. World champion, how are you doing tonight?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am doing great. Congratulations on a very historic event that happened this weekend. Stacey's with Sunbelt Grillers out of Georgia. And I know that had to be exciting the way that it all came down. And I can't wait to hear your take on it and the way it all played out. But we've got to bring in Chris Lytle as well. Chris is with Boars Night Out. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about you, Mike?
Man, I cannot complain. I know that you guys have got to be thrilled. The voice sounds like it may be a little raspy. Maybe, just maybe, you've been screaming just a little bit. I know I would have been, and I imagine the ring finger is probably pretty sore from sporting that big ring. So, how you been
Everybody
tonight?
said I was real calm.
Yeah, just a little bit. I saw you on the stage, and he's yelling so loud, and man, I'm going to have to get Ken and those guys. Look, if you're going to do this, get you a wireless mic and hook to your phone and just talk, and we can hear everything a lot better. So,
That's right.
but it was really good, man, and it was an historic event. If you don't know, if you was under a rock, if you was on another continent, the SCA World Championship was this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas. It was an historic event because there was not one world champion that came out of this. There was two, and we've got both of them on tonight, Chris and Stacey. Absolutely unbelievable. Y'all both had a perfect score. There was no way to break the tie, so I do want to kind of talk a little bit about that, and I don't know which one of y'all wants to go first. Whoever's more comfortable about talking about how that goes down, let's hear it.
I don't believe it was a perfect score. It was just a
No,
perfect.
no,
Right.
perfect tie. Perfect tie. Perfect tie in the score, and it wasn't a
Yes,
perfect. 254.5 is a perfect score. What was your final total? 250.
253.9.
Yeah, 253.9 was our score.
Nine. So y'all was 6/10 from a perfect score, but it was a
Correct.
perfect tie. That's what we've got here. It was a perfect tie. So anytime that there's a tie, what is the first thing that they look to break the tie?
They break the tie with taste, and both of our
Okay.
taste scores was 53.9, and
Wow.
then appearance, uh,
Was 50.
appearance, yeah, 50s across the board.
Just everything was 50. So that's the way they normally, if there's a tie, then they go to score and whoever, a taste score, and whoever has the highest taste score, that's the one that wins it. Well, y'all had a perfect taste score. And then they
Right.
go on down the line of appearance and this and this and this. Every one of y'all scores was exactly the same.
Correct.
So there was no way to break the tie. Wow. So has that ever happened before in SCA?
It's happened in the SCA, but it's never happened at the World Championship.
Wow. And normally, here's the cool thing. How do they normally break that tie?
Normally, they break it with a coin flip. If it's a perfect score, if it's a perfect tie, and we keep saying perfect score, but a perfect
Right.
score is a
Perfect tie.
254.5.
Right. Right.
Uh, perfect. Usually, they break it with a coin flip, and Brett and Ken made a great decision. I feel like, and I guess I probably feel that way because I was one of the ones that tied, but
Right.
made a great decision and gave us both world champion instead of. I would have hate to lose a world championship with a
Because of a
coin
coin
flip.
flip. Wow.
Would have been
That
awesome.
is, Stacey, what do you think about that? I mean, I think that is just great. Hats off to Ken and Brett to do something like that. I mean, you get to the biggest show on the planet, really, for steak. And to come down to a tie and then you say, well, we're going to determine who won this with the coin flip. That's just not right. So, how did you feel going up there, Stacey? Did y'all know that when y'all got up there that it was a tie and then there wasn't going to be a coin flip?
They had announced it that it was a tie and that
Okay.
we would both get the rings. We would both get the title.
Okay. Wow. So y'all knew that coming up to the stage then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is absolutely amazing. So yeah, we got a lot of folks on here. Congratulations. Congratulations, Gordon. Congratulations, both of you. Have your shoes dried yet? Yep, I know. We'll talk a little bit about the horrific stuff that was going on with the weather. I mean, it was brutal. Awesome job. What's up, guys? Congratulations from James. Mr. Raz, hey, guys, congrats. Just now got home. You both rocked it. Bob Zaney, congratulations. Yep, let's see who else we got. Good morning. I'm from Australia. Lucas is from Australia over there. Lamar, thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, and Marcio, there we go. He was there. There's so amazing, two amazing people. I don't know. Who won the rib competition?
Marcy.
Do y'all know that guy that won the rib
I don't know that
world
guy.
champion? I don't know what this guy's doing. Marcio, man, I'm telling you right now, brother, you are absolutely killing it. And anything pork, this guy's just brutal. And when I heard that he was going to be cooking the rib ancillary, I was like, man, I might as well forfeit, because I don't know if anybody can beat this guy right now. Him and his team has been absolutely amazing. So,
And wasn't it his birthday when he won that?
It probably
It was.
was.
It
Wow.
was.
That's a pretty good birthday gift. All right, so leading up to this big, huge event, and I mean, I've called it 100 times. It was an historic event for something like that to go down. It was pretty cool to see, and it was even greater that they didn't do a coin flip to break that. So, Stacey, what was your thoughts of coming in? You know, how many competitions had you won this year? And then we're going to ask Chris that as well. But how many comps have you won this year leading up to the SCA event?
None. I
You
came
hadn't won it.
invitation this year
Okay, all right. How
Yeah.
did you get there again?
on invitation.
On invitation. Okay.
That
Wow. How many did you do? A lot of cooks this past year or
No.
not?
I had a lot of health issues and family stuff going on, and I just did not get to cook as much. I maybe done 10 comps all year.
Wow. But you made it count when it needed.
Yes, sir.
That
I
is,
walked.
yeah, that you got the biggest one. So Stacey, let's talk a little bit about, your first round. How did you score first round to get into the finals?
First round, I think I was 7th or 8th in the group in my
Okay.
first round.
Okay. How many did they take off a table? I don't know that. Is it like
10.
10? Okay.
Top
10.
10 group.
Top 10. Okay. So you finished 7th. You advanced into the final. What about you, Chris?
I finished 6th in my group. There was basically 9 groups, I think, of 50 or more. I don't know the exact number, how many it was, but there's a red group, a blue group, and a green group, A, B,
Okay.
and C.
Okay.
It was like red A, red B, red C, and they take the top 10 out of each group. Like they take top 10 out of red A, red B, red C, and I finished 6th in my group.
Okay. How many people was in the final?
96, I believe.
96 people. Wow.
It was either 94 or 96. I think 96, because I think they take the top 10 out of 9 groups, and then you have, I think it's the 6 points champions from each region. You got United States, Europe, Japan. I can't remember all 6 regions.
Right.
But I think there's 6 regions.
Wow. So did they automatically get into the final because of
The points champions automatically get into the finals. They
Okay.
cook the preliminaries, and if they get a call in the top 10, they take the 11th place person.
Okay.
That way.
They take the 11th.
Yep.
So that way it doesn't mess up anybody. Man, that is so
Yep.
stinking cool. All right, so I know we've had some people talking about the weather. Lucas was at the World Food Championship last year, and I guess it was the year before, and it was miserable weather. I mean, mud. Everybody's tromping in ankle deep mud. It was just a mud fest. I know I kept checking the radar because we was down in Bow Bridge, and I was looking at the forecast coming in because we was supposed to get rain and stuff down there, and it all kind of skirted either north of us or stayed south of us, which was just kind of split around us. But I would always zoom the map out. I've got radar on my phone where I can move it out, and man, I looked a couple times at Fort Worth, and it looked like y'all was just getting hammered, like bad hammered. I mean, it was red, intense, looked like tons of rain. How was the
Lightning.
weather? Lightning, yeah. There's nothing greater than sitting under a metal frame tent with a freaking lightning bolt sticking up out the top of it and cooking on freaking probably ankle deep water. So how did you weather the storm? Because that cannot be the easiest conditions to cook in. And was it really windy to boot?
You just pull the grill up under the middle of the tent and hope lightning didn't strike then, but it needed to twice.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Wow.
We kind of like when lightning strikes around Boar's Night Out.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so. Always pack your floaters, Philip said. So let's see. It rained just a little. Yeah, I don't know how much the rain was. I know it was a lot. Marcy, oh my God, the weather was brutal, but we managed to cook 4 hogs over open fire and 4 huge palina pans. Palina pans. I don't know what the heck that is. So that's yeah. Here we go. Now here's our weather forecaster. Green Group literally all cook and turn in was like a hurricane. Wow.
I was in the green group.
Wow.
I was too.
So both of y'all, was it real windy as well?
No, not bad.
Or just the rain.
Rain.
So what grill do you cook on, Stacey, and how did it handle the weather?
I cook on a PK Go, and
Okay.
it handled it just fine.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
I cook on the M8. I cook on the M Grill M80. What I cooked on this past weekend.
Right.
And,
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we rolled.
Yeah. Man alive. So what was your thoughts coming into this? I mean, how was you preparing for this, Chris? I mean, have you cooked a lot of competitions throughout this year?
Through this year, through 2023, and not a lot. I opened a restaurant in 2019, Top Notch Pizza and Barbecue. And ever since then, I hadn't got to compete as much. My wife competes also. She finished second in the Cowtown Classic.
Okay.
So towards the end of the year, she hadn't got her golden ticket, and I had mine for ancillary. And we really started chasing hard towards the end of the year. And one of our favorite cooks is El Dorado, Arkansas, and it's a cook at Hope Landing. And what Hope Landing is, it's for the children,
Right.
And that's one of our favorite cooks. And for last year and the year before last, that's where I've ended up getting my golden ticket. And it's never been on a win. It's always been on a pass down. So I got my pass down at second to last weekend of cooking in December, and
Right.
so that's how I got there. And then we got there Saturday, made finals. Sunday won the World Championship, and just got lucky enough I've cooked SCA 6 years, since 2017 or 18, and that was my first ever win.
Wow.
Was Sunday night. Yep.
That's your first win you ever had.
That was my first ever win. I finished second. When me and Trish got married, we went to the Bahamas when Brad Barrett hosted the Bahamas Steak Cook. We planned our wedding around that so we could go on our honeymoon down there and cook a steak. And
Wow.
that's another great story. But I finished second down there. I finished second all over the place. But Sunday night was my first win.
Hey, if you're going to win one, that's the one to
You might as well win big. That's right.
If you're going to win big. So that is so freaking cool. Oh, wow. Hey, real quick, I know I've got a lot of people on here that's on our YouTube page. We are streaming this live on YouTube and on our Facebook page. I'm going to drop a link in the chat real quick. And the reason we're trying to get more people to go to our YouTube channel is if you want to go back and watch a show, instead of having to scroll through hundreds of posts on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel, you've got all of them right there. You can see a little snippet of it. You can see who the guests are. And if you would, I just dropped the link in the comments. Click that link, and if you would, go over there and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think right now we have 988. So I need 12 people to go over there and subscribe to our channel. We'll get to 1,000. Maybe we can do it tonight. So we got some people on for the first time. So go over there if you would. It's in the chat, and go to Barbecue Champs YouTube channel and go click our subscribe button if you don't mind doing that. And if you ever want to catch our stuff, you can catch it on YouTube, and it's a lot easier than Facebook, and a lot of people seem to like it. We got about half the people on YouTube now. Well, that is a pretty cool deal, the way all this stuff went down. Now, Stacey, I see that, there's this big, huge round disc that's to your right or left that says first place SCA World Champions. So, how did you get the trophy?
Chris was nice enough to let me have all the trophies. He was a perfect gentleman with that.
There you go. So, Chris, are you getting one duped, or is Ken and Brett going to get one made for you?
Ken and Brett said they're gonna send me a trophy, they're gonna send me a cooler, and they're gonna send me one of the big checks.
That is
So they're
absolutely.
they're gonna take care of all of it.
That is absolutely awesome. Good for those guys to do that. So, and then they fit y'all for the rings and stuff like that. Then once you get that done, they'll send you rings as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll call someday this week or next week. I'm sure they're dealing with insurance and stuff to fix the yard. They're probably dealing with that right now, so they'll get to us when they get all that situated.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about how bad the grounds got tore up. It was funny. I was just scrolling through Facebook. Travis is always, Travis Hale is funny as they come. And all of a sudden I see something. Anybody want to bet the over under of $35,000 for the landscape repair? And I was like, what the heck is he talking? Like, did they tear that up that bad that it's going to be 35,000? So how bad was it?
It was muddy getting out, I'm sure. We're fortunate enough that when we set up every year, we set up on the road. We got a big long trailer and all that. So we set up on the road, but we had a river running under us because all the drainage runs down the side of that. So we were walking in ankle deep water. But if you know dirt work, honestly, it probably wasn't as bad as it looks.
Okay.
They can go out there and smooth. Yeah, they go out there and smooth it out, and it'll look good.
Get some topsoil on it, throw some seed down.
That's
they're fine. Hey, it's cooking, so
that's right.
Maybe they'll let you back again next year. The city's probably going, what the heck have we done? We don't want these guys back. So, oh goodness gracious! Look, if anybody's got any questions that you'd like to ask, either Stacey or Chris, drop them in the comments. And thank God for cardboard. And, drop them in the comments. And we will be glad to ask away and see what questions that you guys have for them. Man, look at that, 993. Yeah, we got about 5 or 6 people jumped on real quick to our YouTube channel. Come on, man, 7 more. Go hit that bell. So anyway, what have you got planned, Stacey, for this year? I mean, you're a world champ. You didn't get a chance to cook a whole lot last year. Are you going to try to get out a little more this year if your health allows?
Yes, sir. Plans are to get out and cook and just have fun with it. I don't have to worry about that golden ticket anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Never.
That's right. Once you're a world champion, you always can get in and go cook it.
That's it.
I remember that. So, wow, that's awesome. All right, so we got a question from Angel. Were you confident in your steaks you turned in? So, how well did you like your practice steak? And then, did you have to make any adjustments on your practice steak for what you turned in? We'll go with you first, Stacey.
I knew going into it from semifinals that I wasn't changing anything. I was doing exactly what I did to begin with from that one. I was fortunate enough where the table split. I had first choice on my table. Okay. Picked the perfect steak. It was beautiful. And when I got done cooking it, I couldn't have cooked a better one.
Okay. Wow. All right. What about you, Chris?
I didn't change nothing from my preliminary round. My preliminary round was low, but I think everybody's scores was low in the preliminary round. Got to the finals. And one of my mentors and what I call one of the greatest steak cooks to ever walk the face of the earth, Tim Brown, come over there and looked at it before I did anything to it. And he looked at me and he said, Chris, it's yours to screw up. And when I got done cooking it, when it was in the box, Tim Brown was standing outside the trailer where I come out and the whole White Lightning team was. And Tim Brown looked at me and said, you couldn't do nothing no different, Chris. So when I get Tim Brown's approval for a steak, it's pretty good.
Right.
I'm never confident enough to say I'm going to win it, but if Tim Brown says I got a good steak, I knew it was a pretty good steak.
So Ashley asked Chris when he knew he had a winning steak. Was that it?
They say I knew at 11 a.m., but that's for another day.
Okay. All right. That's funny.
They say I called it at 11 a.m., but like I said, is when Tim Brown tells you got a good steak, you know it's a good steak.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I was confident all day long. Until I sat down at awards, and then I looked at my wife and I said, I'm not feeling this.
All right. So Travis.
Stop breathing, Chris. I would sit there with closed, and I was just rocking. My husband's like, "Open your eyes, take it all in, watch."
I don't want to.
Attack.
That is crazy. All right, so this what got brought up. Travis had a question, and I seen him post it somewhere else. How did y'all deal with the texture of the soft aged steaks? Did you change up anything because of the texture? Because from what I understood, and maybe I got this right, and you can clarify it, but I think Travis said that the steaks were aged some, and it really made them really, really tender. So, did y'all notice that, or did y'all change anything with that?
I marinated the same way I always do.
Okay.
We always use Ace's Wild Wicked Pig for marinade, and what I do and what other guys do, we always go by how how the steak feels is how long we marinate, because Wicked Pig's one of those that it tenderizes it, so you got to be careful on your times.
Yep.
So depending on how the steak feels is depending on how long we marinate. Mine was a little softer, so I didn't marinate as long as I would if I had a thicker, tougher steak.
Right. Yep. And there's ways that you can actually use that Wicked Pig to be able to tell that, and we explained that. I know we did a really detailed job when Marissa was here, and she showed a way that you could really tell when that steak was done, and it's about feel, and we kind of showed that in the class. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it does make a difference. Let's see, we got another question from Lane. What place in steak selection? Okay, so in the finals, I think I heard you just say, Stacey, that you was at the split of the table. So you got first pick on yours?
Token number 33.
Okay, so you had first, and then you had to come back around for 33rd. Okay, and what about you, Chris?
I had 81.
81?
I drew 81st. But they split the tables in 3 groups.
Okay.
I think is what it was. I think it was 3 groups. And the way Brett and Ken done it this year, they had talked to some people, and they divided the steaks where they put basically the top half of the loin on one end of the steak, on one end of the table, and the bottom half on the other end. So no matter where you drew, you had an option. You had the choice of getting one steak. And again, I thought that was a very good move by them for the fact that let the competitor get beat by a steak, by another competitor, not by the quality of steak you get. Make sure all the competitors get the same quality steak. But drawing number 81, the way they had it divided, I think I was 6th from last on my tables to draw. So
wow, and yet you were still able to get
a good steak, a really good steak.
Then that's apparently a world champion steak.
Well, that Southern Thunder that goes on it makes it helped it a whole lot.
Yeah, no,
but we'll get into that
real quick. And you can just kind of tell us a little bit about the Southern Thunder. We're going to get Eric on here because that's his newest that was just released here. I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. It wasn't long.
A week and a half ago. A week and a half ago, really. Wow, we actually left early to go to Dallas to the Ace Hardware trade show, and that was our first big release, really. So we went to Dallas to release it at the Ace Hardware show the Wednesday before the World Championship. It hit stores the week before that. But really the big release was the week before the World Championship. And we've been using it for a little while, doing prototypes and stuff like that. They finally got it in bottles and got it labeled and got it out there for sale. And it is one amazing beef rub.
Wow.
It's already a world champion beef rub.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It comes out and it's not even been a week and a half out and you got a world champion with it. So,
and actually I've been using it on the briskets at my restaurant, at my barbecue restaurant for about 3 to 4 months. Mm-hmm. And my customers can tell a huge difference. And my sales, I would say, have probably gone up between 15 to 20% just because of the swap from what I was using to now.
Wow, that is great.
It's an awesome beef rub and gives it a color that is unreal.
Yeah. I tell you what, those guys at Board Night Out, Alan and Eric, they just do an amazing job. I remember when the Midwest Dust came out, Marissa was, I mean, she debuted it in the class and it hadn't even come out yet. But she was
Right.
telling everybody that, from what I understand, as we was releasing her class, she was saying it should be out within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So here's how I use it. This is what it is. And I mean, I tasted that rub and I was like, man, this stuff is absolutely amazing. So, and those guys, they'd be cranking out some really, really good stuff. So,
Yes, sir.
absolutely awesome. All right, let's see. Southern Thunder is a game changer. Got a sample from my neighbor. It's straight money. That's from Travis Hale. Yeah, I'm telling you what, that's awesome. So, oh my goodness gracious. Well, it's just, if anybody's got any questions for either Stacey or Chris, drop them in the comments. It seems like y'all just had an absolutely amazing time. Obviously, there's nothing you could do any different. You was at the pinnacle of all of it. So, 9,600 cooks or so that was in the finals, and y'all come down to two, a perfect tie across the board. And whose number did they call first to come up on the stage?
Mine.
Okay, and was
They
yours
called mine.
was yours immediately right after it, Stacey, or was he able to come up and then they called his number?
No,
I didn't make it.
He was still in the crowd.
Eric wouldn't let you lose, huh?
I'm just going to tell you, we have one amazing White Lightning team, and it doesn't matter who gets the call. It takes a while to go through it.
Yeah, apparently so. Well, I didn't know who they called first, but all I know is I thought they called a number and there was nobody there. And then I was like, well, I don't exactly, I guess I didn't hear that there was, I thought I heard something about the tie, but I'm trying to decipher, it's like, there's going to be a tie in this? How's this going to shake out? And next thing you know, I see Stacey up there and she's over there giving her spiel and everything. And then here comes Chris dragging in later about, I don't know, 5 minutes after she's been up there. Here comes Chris in there, man. I mean, he was so excited, I couldn't even hardly hear a word coming out of his mouth. So anyway, oh my gosh. So they called your number first. And how long after that, Stacey, did you have to wait to find out you was the next one?
Brett called it shortly after Ken called Chris's number.
Okay. Wow. I bet y'all was just, Chris, I mean, obviously you was shocked right off the get-go to hear it. How did you feel, Stacey?
I still don't believe it today.
Hey, Stacey.
I just jumped up and screamed.
If you want to know,
of our North Carolina crowd just grabbed a hold too, and we just all stood back there yelling and screaming for a minute or so, and then we all went to the front.
That's awesome.
Straight to the front.
Straight to the front. You didn't play around like Chris did. Well, if you want to know if it was real, this is what I want you to do. I want you to turn, look over your right shoulder. There you go, girl. It's real. It's real.
Right.
There you go.
Just reach down on that finger and feel that ring.
Yeah, right here, baby, right here. So that is awesome. Hold that ring up. Let's see what that thing looks like. There we go. Who's your daddy? That is so awesome. Oh, let's see what we got. Yeah. What did she say?
Who's your mama?
Who's your mama? That's right. Who's your mama? So, thank you to Boys Night Out Championship Barbecue for great products and all the Southern Thunder sold in Fort Worth proceeds went to Faith and Fire Ministries. All that is absolutely awesome. That's Ashley and Mark Lambert. White Lightning double garlic butter may have been used at the World Food Champion, but I can't confirm. There we go.
You can go ahead and confirm it. We know it was.
Yeah, we know. Both are great cooks, and I'm very proud of them both. Happy to have them in the Brotherhood of World Champions. So there we go. Dana Patterson, straight to the front. There we go.
That's what we did.
Yeah, right to the front. So, and girl, I still don't have my voice back. This is Grace. So, wow. Well, it was quite interesting. It was an absolutely epic event. I don't know if that'll ever happen again. I know the scores are always very, very tight, but to have a perfect tie, man, it's been 10 years. I think you had told me this was the 10th year anniversary.
Yep.
It's never happened before. And I really don't think that there's nothing that they can tweak in the rules that were to change anything for that. So, I think they handled it well. Instead of a coin flip, they just gave it to both of y'all. So, all right. So I've got one other question. I know it's $10,000 if I recall for first place. I don't know what second place gets. Is it like 3,000 or 4,000 maybe for second? So
5.
it's 5 for second.
5.
So how did they do it? They just pull the money together and let y'all split it, or how did that work?
Yep.
Just
They
like
pulled the money together and split it down the middle.
So 7,500
And
apiece.
that's what they do for every contest that they tie. Any tie, it doesn't matter where it is in the top 10. If you got a perfect tie that you can't split, they pull the money and they split it right down the middle.
And they split it, they'll determine the winner with the coin flip. That's pretty good. So
that's if they get a trophy or anything like that. They'll determine who gets the, say, first place or second place, second, third, whatever, with a coin flip.
With the coin flip. Okay. Wow. So stinking cool. Let's see here. What else we got? Still want to know how he got so handsome, but I don't know how.
That's my cousin. She's in the Air Force and she's trying to have a good time.
Apparently so, because I done seen this a couple times over here.
Yeah, she done sent it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're a handsome dude, man. I guess we got to acknowledge that.
We got to acknowledge it, huh?
I mean, 3 times she's done put that up there. So let's just go on and get this out the way. We're just going to leave that there for a little bit. So,
all right.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I know one thing. It was really great to see when I was sitting there watching it. I was trying to catch the awards, and you're trying to keep up with it because you couldn't see the screen in the back what place they were putting up. And I caught Scott Nardi. I remember he was 5th, and I was like, okay, I can keep up with this. He's 5th. Let's just count him down from there. And then I heard that Rick Manzi, man, I love Rick. We was going to try to get him on the show as well. Rick finished, I think, 4th overall.
4th.
And then how did he finish in the Cowtown? Didn't he do really well in Cowtown, or maybe he didn't?
Yeah, he got a call, and I think it was top 5.
Yeah, it was pretty high over there. Now, your wife got 2nd in Cowtown, right?
She got 2nd in the Cowtown, yep.
And Steve Hernandez got 1st.
Yep.
Okay, so he was 1st, she was 2nd. And I think Rick had a top call there, but I started counting them down. I don't remember who got 3rd. I've lost track there. And then when they came in to 2nd, they said, well, we got a tie. And I was like, what the heck, And then they called a number, and then the guy never showed up, And you could hear all the screaming in the background. Then they called another ticket, and I was like, well, did Stacey win this thing? The only thing I thought of was like, Stacey won this deal. Like, oh my gosh, and because I couldn't quite understand what they were saying about the tie, like how's this going to work? And then here you come up there, and then you grab the trophy, and I'm like, man, I guess he won as well. So it was really, really cool. So she says she only said it twice. So, 2nd place in Cowtown in his group. Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. That's how he finished. Rick Manzi finished 2nd place in Cowtown in his group. Okay, yeah, Rick got 2nd. And the grand champion and the GT hand down for the golden ticket hand down from Steve. Okay, perfect. So he's already qualified. So y'all are already qualified too if you just didn't know. So
for life.
Every year.
For life. So that's a pretty cool deal the way they do that. So
it is.
Wow. Anybody got any questions for them? Because we're getting ready here just in a few minutes to have our 20 backyard barbecue classes. We're going to give that away. We have a trivia question for you, and we're going to see if who can get that question right, and whoever gets it right will get our 20 championship backyard barbecue classes for 1 month, and we're going to do that here at the end of the show. So, wow. Well, Stacey, have you got anybody that you want to thank? Any sponsors, anything like that?
I want to thank PK there. We're on the PK team, Johnny Joseph, just SCA in general, Brett and Ken and Michelle and Shelly and just all of them, the judges, because we couldn't do this without them. I mean, and that's just something we love to do.
Right. Wow.
And I also want to congratulate the Smokehouse on Ambassador of the Year. They do a phenomenal job at promoting this sport, and just anybody. If someone needs something, they give it to them, no questions asked, and help any way they can. And they are truly ambassadors.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, Caitlin Crane's on here. Tell Mr. Brendan happy birthday, and the SCA family rocks. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll ask you a question, and then we'll get into all of your sponsors that you've got, Chris.
All
We'll ask this question to both. Stacey, I'll go with you first. What inspired you to get into competitive cooking, competition state cooking? And how long have you been doing it?
5 years now.
Wow.
We went to a cook-off, my husband and I, in Fitzgerald, Georgia, and we met Casey Jones and Judy Jones. And my husband cooked his first event, placed, I think it was fifth, and we were hooked from there.
That's all it took. Wow.
And standing by watching at that point, and
right.
All the ladies kept telling me when we go to different cooks, you should cook too. And I'm just like, no, I'm here to help. And my husband bought me my first grill, and it was on from there.
Wow. I see, I got to meet Chris at the Ace Hardware Barbecue Show and couldn't have been any happier. Great guy. Congrats to you both. Wow, that's from Brandon Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's absolutely awesome. Kevin Patterson, congratulations. Alan Smith, Raz Braz, we appreciate those Raz dogs. Oh my gosh, yes, ain't that for sure. I seen Mark Lambert holding up one, and I tell you, I have got to get over there, Raleigh. Congratulations to both of y'all. Ashley, congrats to Raz on the 600 Raz dogs for charity. I seen Mark Lambert holding up one of these Raz dogs. Have y'all ever had one?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
yes. I got one. Yeah, we got one this year from there.
I hear they're like epic, and I would probably eat one because I love a good hot dog, right? But my problem is I'd want another one if they're that dadgum good. So
they're big. They're big. Yeah, you probably only eat one.
I saw Mark. He had this thing. It looked like it was a foot-long hot dog. So, oh, goodness gracious. All right. But, yeah, Raz always does amazing job. And I remember it first started off a couple years ago, and it was 200 hot dogs, I think, and now we're up to 600. So
600.
That's
he had an army cooking them and feeding them. They did a great job.
I had 1.5 Raz dogs this year. There you go. So that's crazy. All right, Chris, do you have any sponsors, anything that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, and I'll go back and answer that question too on how I got into competitive cooking. I've been into it really my whole life. As a kid, my dad and his best friend did competition cooking around the house in just a little local event. As I grew up, I started helping them, and they always told me that I always took it to a different level. And then I met Mark Lambert, and I thank Mark Lambert, Scott Guy, and a few more for costing me a whole lot of money.
Hey, Mark can do that to you.
So that's one of my sponsors right there. I met him. We got into serious competition barbecue, and we were going to Millington, Tennessee. And I did the cooking, and my wife always said, Trish, she helped me with the boxes, building boxes. We were going to Millington, and we went up early because we were stopping by the warehouse, hang out with Mark and them. Well, they were getting ready to go to Atoka that weekend for NBN, and I was going to cook KCBS. And Mark was there, Scott was there, a few more guys was there, and they were getting ready to slice a whole ribeye loin to practice steak because Atoka had steak. And this was 2018. It was right after Eric won his World Championship, and they were getting ready to practice because SCA was starting to get bigger. And my wife kept watching them. Scott, we'd known Scott Guy for a while too, and my wife kept watching them. And Mark and Scott looked at my wife, Trish, and said, "Come over here." So they showed her how to trim cutting the loin, what steak to pick, what seasonings to use, and all that. Well, I walked out of Mark Lambert's warehouse with a PK grill, and she said, "I want to sign up for the next one."
Another.
I had to buy two PK grills because I didn't, which I didn't. Eventually I did. I cooked on a Weber starting off, just a Weber kettle, and I run it for about a year. And you can't carry a Weber kettle down the grill in the back of your truck. It ain't gonna last. Instead of round, it's gonna be oval.
That's for sure.
My second contest was in South Haven at the Mason's Lodge, and that's where I met Eric and Alan. I finished fourth that night, but I lost my ticket. We were at a barbecue contest, and it was my second state contest, and I lost my ticket. And what happened was I put it in my pocket, and I always keep paper towels in my pocket when I'm cooking.
Oh,
Well, I took the paper towels, took it out of my pocket, and I threw it away, and that's where my ticket went. I found it the next morning. But that's where I met Eric and Alan for the first time in 2018, and we hit it off, and we've been best buddies since. And that's that. Now they can't get rid of me. But and that's
awesome.
I mean, that's not only my sponsors, but my best friends. Mark Lambert, Ashley Henson with Faith and Fires Ministry. They do an awesome job. If you ever go to a cook, and they got Cook's Church, whoever's hosting it, Bill Mann, any of them, whoever's hosting it, they do an awesome job with Faith and Fires Ministry. And then obviously I can't say enough about Alan Smith, Eric Hodson, Boars Night Out team. They provide us with whatever we need when we need it. They're amazing people. And the whole White Lightning team. I told Mark Huntley today, and I've told several of them in the past since Sunday night, I don't know of a steak team, barbecue team, any of them that is as tight as what the White Lightning team is.
Yeah.
That's why it took me so long to get to the stage, because I couldn't get away from the hugs from White Lightning. I thought they was just going to have to tote me down there. And then we got Craig Carter and Matt O, which y'all know both of them. Matt O's got a class on here, but with Aces Wild and the Wicked Pig, it's a good combo.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. Well, all I can say is congratulations, champs.
Thank you.
You don't get to say that very often, so that's pretty awesome right there.
Stacey, again, congratulations to you.
You too, Chris.
Awesome.
Like I said before, I would not think of any other person I'd like to share that stage with.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely awesome. All right, so we got a little trivia to get out of the way, and the way that this is going to work is I'm going to ask a question.
Hey, Mike, before you do that, I got in trouble Sunday night. I better not do it again tonight.
Okay.
I better thank my wife.
Yes. You got 55,000 people on here watching this right now. So
a lot of times we don't thank each other because we're competing against each other, but at the same time we have fun with it. But she supported this dream ever since she met me. She's run all over the world with me, doing it all over the country, and she never complains. The only thing she did is when she got tired of barbecue and she said she wanted to cook herself. She let me plan our wedding and honeymoon around the steak cook. So
that's a keeper.
Yep. So I got to thank her.
What's her name?
Trish.
Most
people know her. She beats me more times than I beat her. Let's say that.
That's awesome. Congratulations to both of you. So humbled to know you both. That's Jody Davis. Oh, Jody's awesome.
Awesome guy.
Awesome guy right there. So Ashley, great people. There we go. All right, so we got a little trivia question here, and then we're going to get ready to end our show here shortly. I'm going to ask a question. The first person that I see get it on my screen, I don't care what y'all's screen says, I got to go by my screen. The first person that gets the answer right is going to win our 20 championship backyard barbecue classes. If you've already bought a class from us, then all I got to do is add it into your account. If you haven't bought a class from us, then all you got to do is just email me, and I need your first and last name, and I'll use the password that you send it. So I'm going to ask the question, and first person I see get it right is going to get our 20 championship backyard barbecue class, and you're going to get them for 30 days. So Miss Stacey is now the second female to ever win the SCA World Champion. I want to know who the first female champion was in the SCA World Champion. Who was the first female to ever win the SCA World Champion? And I think we're going to probably have to go. I know she misspelt it, but I'm going to give it to her because I know what she was trying to spell. All right, we can stop. Oh, my gosh, they're going across so fast. Elizabeth was the first one that I seen. Let me go over here and see. I'm I'm going to give it to the fastest hand in the South that couldn't actually type it right. I guess that is Mathissa, but I know she was trying to say Marissa. So that's close enough. You're going to get it, Elizabeth. So you are going to get our 20 championship.
Congratulations to her on her points championship, too.
Yes, absolutely. Elizabeth got her ring. We had her on the show here not too long ago. And I'm going to give that to her because I know what she was trying to say. She knows Marissa very, very well. And it would not be very fair to say that wasn't it. So technically it's spelt right, but we know what she was trying to type. So anyway, all you got to do is just have fat fingers like me and you can get it wrong. So Elizabeth, I can't remember if you've bought a class from us before. And let me see here. She's got on here. Okay, have you bought a class before, Elizabeth? Is that what you just got through posting? I think she just got through posting Raymond's class. Did you buy Raymond's class? Okay, I think you've got an account with us, Elizabeth. If that's the case, then I'm going to add the 20 Championship Backyard Barbecue classes to your account, Elizabeth, and you'll have them for 30 days. Yeah, she's got on here Raymond's class. So, all right, if not, I know how to get a hold of her. So anyway, well, guys, gals, ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate it. You can give it to the next person. She says I can give it to the next person. Well, dang, she's giving it away. So, all right, here we go. So I'm going to go now to number 2. Let me go back here. So the second person that I seen, I hope she's still on the show. Ann? Neil? Are you still on, Ann? First time listener. I don't think I've ever seen this name. Ann, if you were on, woohoo! I guess she is. There we go. Ann is still on. All right, Ann. I do not recall ever seeing that you had bought a class from us before. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. It's BBQ Champions. BBQ. I've got fat fingers as well. CHIMPONS. BBQ Champions at gmail.com. All right, Ann. I just dropped it in the email or in the chat.
I met her Saturday.
Okay,
I met her Saturday.
Okay, she's bought Marissa's class, is what she said. Yes, I bought Marissa's class. Okay. I tell you what, I just sent you the email. Sometimes I have a hard time finding accounts if the name is not exactly the way it is. So, Ann, if you would email me, there it is right there, bbqchampions at gmail.com. Email me either your username or the email that is associated with your account. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for me to find you. And I'm going to screenshot this as well and see if I can find it. But email me that, Ann, and I will get you hooked up, girl. All right, we've had a great time tonight. A lot of good folks on here asking a lot of great questions. I feel super lucky. Thanks, and I'll email you. There you go. Lucky lighter.
Lighter.
A lucky lighter.
They give away lucky lighters at state contest and barbecue contest. I met her Saturday, and she actually gave me one, and I lit my fire with it Saturday and Sunday.
There you go. Wow. You better hang on to that lighter. Yeah, that needs to go right next to your trophies where that needs to go. So
I'm gonna build a shadow box for a bunch of it, and it's going in that shadow box.
Absolutely. Well, Stacey, any final thoughts? Any closing comments?
No, sir. Just still taking it all in.
There you go. Soak it up for as long as you can.
I want to thank everybody for all their help, the calls, the texts, the messages. I tried to respond to each and every one of them, but it's
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, Chris, what about you, brother?
All I can say, I seen Eric Hodson say congratulations to both of us. He got a second place call in ribs while we were out there. Alan got a sixth place in ribs. We had an amazing weekend. Everybody's asking about Southern Thunder. It's on the market. It's online. All you got to do is order it. It's there, and it's a world champion rub. It's good.
Yeah.
And my husband's ninth place call in the ribs.
Wow.
There you go.
That's great. Well, I appreciate y'all being on, and thank you for all of our listeners tonight. We appreciate y'all so much. I hope you'll join us every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern here on our Barbecue Champs live podcast. We usually talk a lot about barbecue, and occasionally we'll get the state cookers on here as well. This was an event that had to be on. We always try to get the world champs on here. Thank you both for taking a little bit of your time to be on our podcast tonight. Appreciate it so much. And we thank all of our loyal listeners. We appreciate y'all more than you can imagine. Thank you so much. And as we always close out our classes, y'all go out there, have a lot of fun.